Good evening, community members of the town of Dumfries. I am Tangela Ennis, your town manager. It is with great pride that we present the fiscal year 25-26 proposed budget, a reflection of our continued commitment to responsible governance, strategic investment, and shared vision of a thriving Dumfries, progress, partnerships, and possibilities. Through strategic planning, community-focused priorities, we enhance services, strengthen infrastructure, and drive economic growth to build a thriving town where our residents and businesses can prosper. This budget embodies our dedication to ensuring that our great town of Dumfries remains vibrant, sustainable, and inclusive while positioning us for long-term success. I extend my sincere appreciation to the Finance Department, our Town Council, and our town staff for their dedication, collaboration, and hard work while shaping this budget, one that meets the needs of today and paves the way for future filled with progress, strengthened partnerships, and endless possibilities for our community. I will now turn this over to our town's Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Curtis Eatman, to present the FY26 proposed operating budget.
Thank you, Madam Town Manager. Thank you for everyone who's listening to this presentation. This Town of Dumfries organizational chart is the chart in which we operate under the council manager form of government. Next. This is the town strategic goals was adopted by the town council. The goals were the driving force behind the creation of the fiscal year 2026 proposed operating budget. These goals are affordability and livability. The town will be inclusive and financially sustainable environment where residents of all ages and backgrounds will have access to quality housing, essential services, employment, and recreational opportunities. Civic engagement. The town will create meaningful resident engagement, encouraging participation and collaboration in the decision-making process and provide community activities. Economic development and infrastructure. The town will expand and grow economic development opportunities while improving the infrastructure for businesses to drive. Well-managed government. The town will have a well-managed government that is accountable, transparent, and efficient and effective in serving the residents of this community. Enhancing public safety. Providing the highest quality of public safety through police visibility and fostering community where residents and officers work collaboratively to prevent crime and ensure safety and well-being of all. The fiscal year 2025-2026 budget ABCs. This budget is built on these three cornerstones. Accounting. The budget should account for all structural changes within all government operations. Balance. The budget must always be balanced in continuity of operations with finite resources. Lastly, the budget must always continue to build the town's fund balance or rainy day fund. So how is the town of Dumfries doing? The town has made progress towards being a well-managed government. The town of Dumfries has presented a clean audit for 2024 that demonstrated the town's council and town manager's commitment to good financial policies and good fiscal management. The town fiscal year 2024 addressed all of the audit findings in fiscal year 2023. Additionally, the town's 2024 audit stated that the fund balance or rainy day fund has grown tremendously. The general fund is now up to $7.6 million. The grant funds is up to $18K. Streets and highways is up to $318K. This is a visual demonstration of the growth of the town's rainy day fund for those who love pictures and graphs. The chart shows that the progress this town has made under this current leadership team. The distinction between 2023 and 2024 is evident of that growth. But there are key considerations for the 2025-2026 proposed operating budget. There were 8 objectives that were used in building this operating budget for the proposed operating budget. First, this town will be continued to be transparent and efficient in government. It will continue to work with its advisors and to achieve a bond rating. It will continue researching funding initiatives for the capital improvement program. It establishes the town clerk's department. It implements a master plan for the town. It continues programming for youth, seniors, and community through the Department of Recreation and Civic Engagement. It continues to build a workforce and fully funded healthcare plan. And this budget also set aside funding for performance management. So the proposed 2025-2026 budget overview. This budget in partnership driven. This fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget invests in community. Over $219,850 in community programming. It invests in the Department of Recreation and Civic Engagement. Over $30,000 in repairs to historic Dumfries through the Public Works Department, and over $20,000 to continue the Police Department's Christmas in Dumfries program. Workforce investment. This budget has built in it cost of living adjustments or COLAs of 2% for employees who have been in the town 1 year or more for service, to reward employees who are doing well and who are striving for the best. Merit increases of 1% are also in this budget for those employees who, again, are 1 year or more of service. The fiscal year 2025-2026 budget also advances the town of Dumfries by $50,000 for the town of Dumfries branding campaign to invest in marketing our current businesses and to bring additional businesses to town. $15,000 for marketing of the destination Dumfries, and $64,000 in funding for a community-based organization. Lastly, this budget invests in continuing improvement to making the government much more efficient. $15,000 in new recreational software that will improve town recreational programs, and $9,000 investment in geographic information software, or what we call GIS, software to bolster planning and public works department and ability to better serve the community and to collaborate. I now turn it back over to Madam Town Manager to discuss the fiscal year 2025-2026 personnel summary.
So briefly, what I'll do is highlight a few changes from our budget. This particular proposed budget creates a deputy town manager. We've also reclassified the executive assistant to town manager position / public information officer. That position will now be reclassified to assistant to the town manager. The town clerk's positions will be moved out of the town manager's budget and creates its own department. The Public Works Department will have an administrative assistant position, 2 new maintenance worker positions, as well as a part-time maintenance worker position. We've eliminated the maintenance supervisor position in this proposed budget. The Planning Department has requested a planner position, and the Police Department has 1 new lieutenant position. The next few slides just shows this in more detail, so I'll just move through them rather briefly. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Eatman to talk about our operating budget summary.
Thank you, Madam Town Manager. The fiscal year 2025-2026 all-fund budget is $12,752,397, an increase of $1.7 million, or 15% over the fiscal year 2024-2025 adopted budget of $11,072,340. The general fund, which is the town's largest fund, is $12,153,644, or a $1.7 million increase over the fiscal year 2025 adopted budget of $10,473,896. The general fund revenues summary. This slide further breaks down the $12.12 million general fund revenue. As we can see, taxes are about $1.4 million. Other taxes are $9.2 million. Permit fees and license are $230,000. Fines and forfeitures are $295,000. Revenues for the use of money and properties, $870,000. $600 in miscellaneous revenue, and $160,000 in revenue from the Commonwealth of Virginia. The proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 revenue is further broken down to its proper category, as you can see, further broken down in further information. Next slide. Again, this is the further information for those who are interested. It breaks it down further. The proposed fiscal year is broken down further in the categories that were previously presented. This is the fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund spending of how the money is spent. This pie chart illustrates how the town spends its funds in serving the town residents. General government, which is our largest, is about $5.5 million, which takes up a large portion of the circle, followed by public safety at $3.3 million, and then public works at about $1.5 million. Those are the three largest departments in the town. The proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund expenditure summaries. General government had a growth of about 29%. Public safety had a growth of 7%. Public works had a growth of 14%. Planning, boards, and commission had a growth of 17%. Debt service had a growth of 26%, and non-departmental had a reduction of 82%. The next slides, we will break down the fiscal year 2026 budget for each town department in its current detail. Town council is about $456,000. Town attorney, $321,000. Town manager, about $2.2 million. The newly created town clerk departments, $370,000. The treasurer and finance are about $641,000 and $729,000 respectively. The Department of Recreation Civic Engagement is $826,000. This department had an added line of an overtime in order to make us more efficient in serving the residents and to properly account for the funds of the town. Economic planning and community development had $459,000. Police had about $3.3 million, and public works had about $1.5 million. We also added an overtime line in the public works department in order to better serve the town residents. Followed by our fiscal year 2025-2026 debt and non-departmental budget had a debt service of about $1.4 million and $600K in departmental budget. This further breaks down how that money is spent. Lastly, I will review the fiscal year 2025-2026 special revenue funds. These are funds that are outside the general fund and are used to serve a particular purpose. Our grant fund is proposed at $44,600. Our street fund is proposed at $355,000. Our stormwater fund is proposed at $199,000 for a total of $599,000. The next slide, you will see the information broken down further, both on the expenditure side as well as the revenue side. I will now turn it over to the Madam Town Manager, to present the fiscal year 2025-2026 capital budget.
Highlighted on the presentation is the proposed capital improvements budget. The proposed budget for this year is approximately $4.2 million. Majority of the project has not been funded. Some have several different funding sources. So for Clyde Washington Community Center, we propose about $1 million, and that will be funded by Colonial Downs Group. Fleet management acquisition, $350,000, that is currently unfunded. Historical Dumfries and Virginia repairs at $28,000, that is currently unfunded. Jeff Simpson Community Center upgrades and structural assessment to the tune of $70,000 is currently unfunded. Moving down into Quantico Creek, we have Quantico Creek Phase 2 at approximately $2.2 million. $400,000 is funded by our SLAF grant. $1 million will be funded by the Commonwealth of Virginia, and $800,000 is currently unfunded. We have various stormwater projects to the tune of $500,000, which is going to be funded by the ARPA Stormwater Grant. Then we have the police department facility upgrades to the tune of $60,000, which is currently unfunded. As revenues come in throughout the fiscal year, we will evaluate these unfunded initiatives to come back to council to see if we can appropriate additional funds to actually make the projects happen throughout the year. We thank you for your time and will entertain any questions at this moment. Yeah, questions? Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate the citizens of the town of Dumfries. If y'all have any questions, we will do another presentation tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you.